hair, the actual fur. So next time we bring him up, just like keep that in mind. All right, let's get into the discussion here. Is this the year that Phillip Rivers can finally beat Tom Brady? Is this the year that the Patriots' problems are actually going to be to their demise? Like, is this
Are they more vulnerable than they've ever been, Colleen? That's the question.
I think so.
And that's the question we've been asking all year long.
I know.
I think so. I mean,
we'll continue to ask it.
Look at the numbers in the last half of the season. Earlier in the season, obviously they won some games that we didn't know that they were going to win. We didn't think they were going to win. They beat the Chiefs and all of those things. But Tom Brady isn't the same. I don't care what nobody says. He's still the GOAT. He's still probably the best quarterback to ever play this game. But I'm not used to seeing late in the season and Tom Brady only having 1 or 2 300-yard games. That's what's happened in the last 8 weeks. He's only had 2. I'm not used to seeing Tom Brady have a passer rating of below 50 in any game, which happened week 16 versus the Buffalo Bills. And Buffalo had a great pass defense, but a passer rating of 48.3, the lowest in a single game since 2006. There's something wrong. There's something going on up there in New England. There's not an indictment of anything, but I think Tom Brady, his age is finally starting to catch up with him. I think them using Gronkowski as much as they've used him over the years has been a big reason why he's wanted to get paid a little bit more. He knows his body's breaking down. I think his back has had some issues with it. And to me, he's not built.
Missing throws, though, that he would normally make, right?
And when you talk to Bill Belichick, every time you've heard quotes from him on why Tom Brady's the best, it's because he's so accurate. And when you don't see Tom Brady be as accurate, to me, something's wrong.
He's in the spring, usually they're working in OTAs, and he's working on which thread of the jersey.
He was doing something different this past offseason.
So I'm curious. I'm not fast forwarding the playoffs here, but I'm actually looking forward to the offseason. I want to see what the response is from him if he's coming back next year for another year, which the indications are he is.
Was there maybe a bigger reason why he wasn't taking part in those off-season routines? Like, is there something that
he wanted to spend more time with family? I mean, if you saw that 5-part Facebook series that he did, he explained that, life is going by and you want to take time to enjoy the things that are going by before it's too late, and that's was part of this offseason. I also believe that he hasn't been fully healthy at times.
Right, I'm just wondering if there's something wrong with his mechanic, like if there's something wrong with like maybe his knee or like something that we just don't know about.
There was a knee issue at some point this season, right? I mean, that was pretty clear.
Yeah. Everybody's hurt around this time. You're going to have some ailments. You're going to have some injuries. This is a very violent, brutal, and grinding on your body type of seasoning game, especially the way they play. But also, too, really quickly, they're vulnerable because the word dynasty is attached to them. And when we talk about their dynasty, we have normally seen them throughout the November, December, start to put the pedal to the metal. They've started to advance and separate themselves. They have been the cream that has risen to the top, and they're not the cream anymore. Things are changing. Everyone else around them has analytics that they've had years prior. Everyone already has guys that just specifically specify for that play, for that moment. Everybody is catching up to the technology and the technique that Bill Belichick has been for many years prior to, and now it's even Steven. And as championships are won by defenses, but yet playmakers are on offense. And when you are even, any receiver will tell you, throw me the ball because I'm leaving. And that's what's going on as other teams are up there and they're even. And now we're seeing that we'll see with the Chargers. Are they even?
Yeah, I think the suspensions also hurt them too. Julian Edelman at the beginning of the year, Josh Gordon, the health as we talked about with Gronkowski, and their run defense just hasn't been the same either. That Miami game, the Steelers, there's a lot that we could break down with them. And we have time to do it. We're going to get more into it. Don't worry. But we also got to talk about Eagles and Saints, the rematch. We're live in New Orleans with two teams that are rolling right now.
Carson Wentz not playing, though.
No, he's not. Nick Foles is, though. Hey, and they're two of the biggest reasons. The running back is
Return of the back.
Zeke and Todd. Hey, Mike Rob, who has more yards tonight?
Do I answer
No, not yet.
Oh.
Soon.
Was that for real? I didn't know. I thought it was for real.
Good Morning Football Weekend is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
A lot has changed with these two teams since that game in Week 11. Yikes. So let's head down to New Orleans now. Aditi Kinkhabwala with the Eagles, Tom Pelissero with the Saints. Aditi, what do you have on the defending champs this morning?
Well, Colleen, we'll see Andy Reid lead his Chiefs team in the first game today, but his fingerprints are all over this game tomorrow, and specifically the Eagles. It's Reid who signed Doug Peterson to be the mentor to Donovan McNabb. It's Reid who got Peterson into coaching, and it's Reid who recommended that the Eagles hire Peterson. Reid is also the guy that convinced Nick Foles to come back to football when he'd lost his love for the game and signed him in Kansas City. So it's no surprise that Peterson and Foles have this unbelievable connection. When I talked to wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, he said those two, they just feel each other. And Peterson said this is why he has so much trust in Foles. He said ultimately, players have to play. Now let's go to Tom Pelissero, who has the Saints side of things.
Aditi, I asked Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, how do you keep the legend of Nick Foles from growing? Lattimore said, we're not worried about none of that. Their focus is on disrupting the rhythm of the entire Eagles offense, given how quickly Foles has been getting the ball out of his hand. For the defensive backs, Lattimore said, we've got to get our hands on the receivers, throw off the timing of those routes. And up front, rookie Marcus Davenport told me, we've got to get Foles to move his feet. We know he doesn't like to get stepped on, so we've got to push the pocket. The Saints defense will have help from the crowd that's always raucous here in New Orleans, where they blew out the Eagles back in November and have never lost a home playoff game in the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era. Colleen?
You know what, though? That Eagles offensive line is playing a lot better. We'll see if they actually can do that tomorrow. Thank you, Tom and Aditi. Let's get to some names and numbers. We have some big names playing this weekend. We're going to tell you who will have the bigger numbers. And, Steve, you're up first. All right?
Yes.
Michael Thomas and Zach Ertz, they were first and second in catches this season. So who's going to have more receptions tomorrow?
Well, understanding Schwartz, the defense coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, had a lot of success with only holding Mike Thomas in the first quarter or two to one catch. But he didn't seem to stop all other people.
That's a problem.
So what I really believe is I think Ertz is going to have more catches just because they have to stop Michael Thomas. If they don't do that, they will not be successful.
Right. So then I wonder if it'll be Zach Ertz or Alvin Kamara with more catches. But we don't have time for that.
Traquan Smith, who had almost 160.
Again, is back.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the problem for Jim Schwartz and the Eagles to figure out. Mike Robb, you're up next here.
What's up?
More total yards, Ezekiel Elliott or Todd Gurley?
Oh, wow, this is a tough one because both of these are premier backs in the National Football League, can run the ball and catch the ball. But I'm going to go with Todd Gurley. Over 50% of Jared Goff's passes come off the play action, and this is one of the most explosive teams in the National Football League. I know Chris Shaw personally. This defense in Dallas, they do not want to give up the explosive play, so I expect them to retreat to stop the explosive play. Todd Gurley is going to get a lot of dump passes as he fakes the handoff and goes into the flat. And obviously, he's been off for about a month. I think he's going to be running the ball with a lot of
fresh legs.
Yes, he does.
That's true. Okay. Garafolo, Lamar Jackson threw two touchdowns against the Chargers last week. We usually are able to get a Lamar Jackson question in, but now that he's out of the playoffs, it's a little tougher. So, will Brady have more or less than what he did tomorrow?
How about a push? Right on the
push.
You got to put the half in there because one's too few, three's too many. So I'm going to call it a push right here. And that Chargers defense, as much as we talked about how well they played down the stretch in that game, got a little leaky on defense there. So I got it right around 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Leaky?
Great.
Leaky.
Yeah.
That was a scientist. His name was Leaky. You want to know about him? We'll talk later. More receiving touchdowns for Colleen. Eric Ebron or Travis Kelce?
See, I wanted to take the push on this one because this is a tough one. I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. I always choose one side. So I'm going to go with Eric Ebron. Stop it. I'm going to go with Eric Ebron here. All the Colts tight ends do is score touchdowns. 21 receiving touchdowns for them this year. And Eric Ebron led all tight ends this year with 13 of them. Plus, Kansas City is ridiculously bad against tight ends. So they allowed 10 touchdowns this year, tied for the worst. So it's a good matchup, actually, for both of these tight ends.
Yes, it is. You better double cover both of them, really, in the red zone.
Yep. Eric Ebron and Travis Kelce. We're going to go into the mind, though, of Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce's quarterback. Listen, these two, I want to know what he's thinking. This is his first playoff start. and he's going to tell us what he's thinking in his own words.
Gonna throw the ball downfield, man. I'm just gonna throw the ball downfield.
Oh, and Real Mike Rob, Sean
What's
wants
up?
to know if there was only enough time to watch one game this week, which one would you choose? That's like asking who's your favorite kid.
Yes,
Or what's your favorite dog?
I mean, get out of the club. Hey, keep fighting. Let's go. They don't get nothing else. They don't get nothing else. I'm here all day. Buckle your chin strap.
Oh, that always gets me fired up. It's another week for the Real Mike Rob Report. All during the week, I answer your questions on my social media. And as always, I come on TV on Saturday and answer your questions on live television. We got questions. Let's go. First question up. What do we got? All right, what's up, Sean? If there was only enough time to watch one game this week, which would you choose? I don't know, man. All of these games are dope this week. I mean, you have explosive offenses going against shutdown defenses, all of these things. But if I had to pick one, I probably would go with the battle of the best running backs in the National Football League. The Dallas Cowboys going to the Los Angeles Rams. That's going to be a must-see. And I'm looking at it for the future of running backs. Both guys can run, catch, do everything, block, do everything. They're going to have a lot to do with who wins this game. Next question. What do we got? What's up, Tyler? How many passing yards will Andrew Luck and Patrick Mahomes have combined this week? Combined? You know what? If this was a totally dry day with no elements going on, I probably would get close to 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards. 1,000. But because of the weather, because I know that Marlon Mack and this offensive line in Indy is going to do work in this weather, I'm probably going to say combined, let's say 600 yards. Let's split it right down the middle, maybe 300 yards both sides. I'll go with 600. Next question. What do we got? A-Dub. Everybody's talking about Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley, or the defenses. What about Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks? Hashtag Real Mike Rob Report. I'm telling you, they're going to have a tremendous effect on this game because, again, like I said in the previous segment, Jared Goff. Okay, he has over 50% of his explosive passes downfield come off the play action, and I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the speed. Next question. What do we got? Jeezy? You're here, bro.
No, it's not me.
Okay, it's Agent 89. How long does it take to make your hair look so perfect? I'm so jealous. So I think you're taking a shot a little bit, Steve, at me, man. You know, don't take no shots, man. But look,
perfect.
this is what we do.
The hairline going, everything.
I just cut it real low, Steve.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I have makeup go to the line. I don't do nothing till up top. Okay. This is all natural, man. You see it?
See what I
like
said?
You like it? It's all good.
I'm so what?
That it. Back over to you, Colleen. How did I do? It was all good?
That was great, and I really love the hair makeup tutorial.
Listen, for a brother that has no hair, I'm always asking.
You got the hat on.
That's right. For us brothers that have no hair.
There you go. You are my brother.